How seriously should the Warriors take the Blazers?
Very seriously. Because without KD, they're still the favorites. I think they're going to win the series. But without KD, it's tipped much more into a balanced series. Look, this series is really, this is the head, like just as in the East, it's Kawhi versus the Freak. Who's the best player in the world? This is which team has the best backcourt, right? The champions, forget Houston. We saw that, sorry, with the chips on the line. That's not the best backcourt. They got outplayed by the backcourt, the reigning champs, the Golden State Warriors, the Splash Brothers, Steph and Klay. Oh, but we got a new #1 contender, Stephen A. And the new #1 contender is the Portland Trail Blazers with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. That's the #1 contender to the throne. That is not so lopsided. You said Damian Lillard deserved to be All-NBA over Steph this year, and you just saw the performance C.J. put on. That's a worthy adversary for Klay Thompson, who's a bad man. Now let's look, where are they vulnerable without KD, who's their best rim defender nowadays, too, by the way? Where are they vulnerable? Well, do you have a big who can play? Well, they don't have Nurkic. Well, hold on. Time out a second. How's Cantor on offense? And he wants it. How's Zach Collins? And he wants it. Wherever you look on Portland, not only do you have a guy who can play, but you have a guy who plays with heart. We see the difference. These guys play with heart. They match up decently in many respects with Golden State. They can kind of do, if not neutralize what Golden State does, do things, some of the same things that Golden State does. Stephen A., this is a real series, and Golden State better be prepared.
They need to be prepared, and they're a threat, but I'm not going to call them the big threat that you think that they are. If Kevin Durant comes back, it's a wrap. Even if he doesn't come back, Golden State should still win this series. I will say this. I would feel differently if Nurkic was not hurt. But when I look at it, I can't say enough about C.J. McCollum and that performance yesterday. He was absolutely sensational. And when you consider the fact that he comes from Lehigh, the only guy drafted from Lehigh, and what he did a Game 7 on the road, dropping 37, and tells Coach Stotts, give me the ball, I'll get you a bucket. When Damian Lillard is struggling, that's something special to behold. Loving CJ and Dame, my brother Dame time. You know that what time it is with him. But if there is a direct nightmare to what they give you, it is the combination of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And I don't think that can be ignored. And you're talking about experience, you're talking about poise, and you might say that don't underestimate their hunger either, okay? So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And more importantly than that, they ain't the Denver Nuggets. I thought the Denver Nuggets would win this series in 7 because I knew a Game 7 would take place on their home court. I certainly didn't expect Jamal Murray to shoot 4 of 18 from the field. I didn't expect an 0 of 4 from three-point range, and a Barton to shoot over 2 from three-point range, and a Torrey Craig to shoot over 2 from three-point range. I'm looking at these guys, and they ultimately ended the game shooting. This is the Denver Nuggets, 10% from three-point range. 2 for 19 for the game. Missed their last 17 three-pointers. You didn't expect that in the Mile High City. You expected that in Portland, but not the Mile High City. I can assure you that's not going to happen against Golden State.
First of all, I want to say something, a couple of things that you just said. First of all, I remember I said I thought they would win. I just have faith in Damian Lillard. James Harden should watch Lillard. The shot wasn't falling, and Lillard isn't really capable of playing defense. Harden can when he's not walking up the court. We've seen him turn into a good player. Lillard's shot wasn't falling, and they were paying a lot of defensive attention to him. It wasn't just that he passed the ball. He consistently created quality shots for his teammates. And then when they needed him most late, then he hit big shots.
Yeah,
the 3 he hit late,
2 big shots.
Yeah, he did. That's a clutch performance. Steph will do the same thing. Steph, when they pay a defensive attention to him, his shot's not falling, he'll figure out a way to be useful in other ways. But Damian Lillard, I felt even more so. That's one. These are the kind of guys that Portland has on their team. Evan Turner goes to the line, and he's not a good player, right? But he goes to the line, and this is what I mean by a clutch shot. Free throws. He hits them both. The second one puts him up 4 points with 8 seconds to go. Now, up 3 points with 8 seconds to go, you're probably going to win the game, but the other team could easily hit a 3. Now you're going to overtime on the road. You might lose. Up 4 with 8 seconds to go, you're probably 99.99% to win the game. They have a team full of those kind of players. I'm not saying you must hit the free throw there. You're not clutch. Kawhi missed the clutch free throw. I get it. It happens. But the character of the players on Portland, I see a bunch of guys like that on that team. When Lillard is your leader, when that kind of guy's your leader and you got a team full of guys with heart, you are live, and these guys are live.
They're live, but people were acting like they'd have been live if Kevin Durant was there, and that's not true.
No. I'm not saying that.
They would not have been live if Kevin Durant. They're live because Kevin Durant is not there, and they're not the Houston Rockets. They actually are the antithesis of the Houston Rockets. They have a whole bunch of dudes that show up and make contributions. Zach Collins came off the bench, made tremendous contribution, played 23 minutes, played big in those minutes. I can't say enough about that kid.
Doubt.
Harkless and these boys, they show up and they make contributions. The list goes on and on. So when you look at Portland, you talk about 8, 9, sometimes 10 deep. They give you contributions. With Houston, you see them going one guy. And it's a shame because Eric Gordon was arguably, actually undisputably, their second best player for most of the series. The way that he balled out and the fact that you didn't find him more in a Game 7, that's the difference between Houston and Portland.
Who do you trust most under pressure on the Rockets? Probably Gordon or P.J. Tucker, actually. But who do you trust more on Portland?
Because they do their job.
They do their job.
They don't focus on doing anything
But there's something else, like I trust more than anyone on the Warriors for a wide open big shot. I actually trust Iguodala. There's certain types of cats that you just say, that dude's cool under pressure. And what I'm saying about Portland is they got a whole team of those guys. And first and foremost is their best player, Damian Lillard. Respect
What's
to
dangerous,
CJ McCollum.
what's dangerous about
the
Portland is
battle.
different guys. Like, for example, Rodney Hood didn't have a great game last year
And
in
then
numbers
got
wise.
hurt.
Somebody else did. That's what I'm saying. Somebody different is stepping up for Portland, which makes them be unpredictable.
Listen,
But
when
CJ
it's all
McCollum,
said and done, we know where we're going to be. Come on.
Yeah.